Not everyone needs to know your plans. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams. When you announce every move, you open the door for doubt, negativity, jealousy, and unnecessary judgment. The truth is, silence protects your vision. The most successful people don't broadcast what they're working on. They let the results speak louder than their words. When you move in silence, you keep your energy focused, your mind clear, and your progress free from distractions. Every time you speak of a goal too early, you give it away like a seed left on a stone path. Instead of planting it deep into fertile soil where it can take root, you scatter it where birds can peck at it and winds can blow it away. Oversharing kills progress, not because the goal is weak, but because you give others the power to trample it before it grows. The eyes of others can weigh heavier than the work itself. Their questions, their doubts, their sly smiles, those can drain the very energy you need to climb. People rarely discourage you because they know the path. They discourage you because they quit their own journey years ago. When you share too much, you invite their ghosts into your room. And ghosts have a way of haunting. They whisper, "Who are you to think you can do this? Do you know how hard it is? Do you really think you're any different?" Before long, the doubt of others becomes the doubt of your own heart. What was once a fire inside you gets soaked in the cold water of someone else's fear. But when you keep silent, when you work behind closed doors, you hold on to the warmth of that fire. Silence is not weakness. It is strength in its most disciplined form. Silence does not mean you lack direction. It means you refuse to waste breath defending what you already know in your soul. Silence is the chamber where dreams mature before facing the harsh light of the world. Builders, inventors, leaders, they all carried visions too heavy for casual talk. They understood that vision needs protection, like a child shielded from storms until it's strong enough to walk alone. The moment you announce too early, you invite storms before your roots are ready. But the one who builds quietly, brick by brick, step by step, surprises the world not with promises, but with proof. Ask yourself, how many times have you told someone your plan only to feel less motivated afterward? It's because your mind tricks you into thinking you've already achieved something just by talking about it. Talking gives a false reward. It drains the urgency to act. And so, instead of hammering nails, you trade progress for chatter. That's the trap. Oversharing feels like movement, but it is nothing more than standing still in disguise. Silence, on the other hand, sharpens you. It removes the need to justify, to explain, to convince. It turns the noise of the world into background while you do the real work. And when the time comes, when your work finally speaks, it speaks with a voice no critic can silence. For results have a way of shutting every doubter's mouth. So hear me. Do not waste your strength proving yourself with words. Protect your dream in silence. Build it in private. And let the world see it only when it's too solid to be torn down. Oversharing kills progress. Silence keeps progress alive. And if you want to rise, you must learn this discipline. Talk less, work more, and let your results thunder while you remain still. The power of silence in protecting your goals. Silence is not emptiness. It is not the absence of words. It is the presence of control. It is a shield you place around your vision until it's strong enough to stand on its own. Goals are fragile when they're new, like seedlings just breaking through the soil. Show them too early, and the frost of doubt or the trampling of careless feet can destroy them before they've had a chance to grow. When you decide to pursue something greater, the temptation is to announce it, to tell your friends, your neighbors, anyone who will listen. You want them to clap for your courage, to admire your vision. Most people aren't listening to celebrate you, they're listening to measure you. They weigh your words against their own limitations, and often what they hand back to you is not encouragement, but doubt. And doubt in the early stages is poison. Think of a builder at work. He doesn't shout to the village every time he lays a brick. He doesn't invite the crowd to watch him measure the frame or nail the beams. No. He builds quietly, steadily, in silence. And one day, when the roof is in place and the doors stand firm, the entire town sees what he was building all along. His silence protected his progress. His silence gave him the freedom to work without interference. Silence is power because it starves distraction. Every time you speak of a plan, you open a door for someone else's voice to enter. Sometimes that voice says, "That's too big." Sometimes it says, That's not for people like you. And sometimes it says nothing at all, just a smirk that cuts deeper than words. But if you keep your silence, the only voice guiding you is your own. Silence keeps the noise of the world outside the workshop while you hammer away on the inside. Silence is not secrecy out of fear. It is strategy out of wisdom. A farmer doesn't call his neighbors to watch him plant seed in the earth. He knows nothing will sprout that day. He plants in silence, waters in silence, tends in silence. And when the harvest comes, the evidence cannot be denied. That is the reward of silence. It transforms dreams into undeniable proof. So many people waste their energy explaining instead of executing. They talk about their plans until they feel as though they've already lived them, and then wonder why nothing has changed. Silence keeps you hungry. Silence keeps the edge sharp. It forces you to put proof before pride. When you finally reveal the work, it speaks with authority. Results don't beg to be believed. They demand respect. The man who works in silence does not have to argue with critics. He simply points to the house he built, the harvest he reaped, the life he shaped. That is the power of silence. It does not need applause to be real. It only needs time. So protect your goals. Keep them guarded, like treasure locked away. Feed them with work, not with words. Because when you build in silence, nothing can stop the moment when your results roar louder than any announcement ever could. How to keep focus without outside opinions. Focus is a fragile thing. It can be shattered not by storms, but by whispers. A single careless opinion can distract you more than 1,000 obstacles. That's why the discipline of silence is paired with the discipline of focus, keeping your eyes fixed on the road ahead, refusing to let outside voices bend your direction. You must understand, most people are not qualified to judge your dream. They have not walked your path. They do not feel the fire in your chest. They do not carry the vision you carry. Yet if you hand them your plan too soon, they will try to measure it with their yardstick, and in doing so, they shrink it. They say, "That's not realistic," or "That's too risky." But what they really mean is, "I could not do it, so neither can you." If you let those opinions take root, they will choke out your determination like weeds in a garden. Staying focused means building a wall around your mind, a wall that only lets in what nourishes you. Picture a craftsman carving wood. If he stops to answer every passerby who comments on his strokes, the chair is never finished. Focus demands that you remain at the bench, tools in hand, ignoring the chatter from the doorway. You cannot build if you're busy explaining. You cannot finish if you're forever defending. The danger of outside opinions is subtle. They rarely come as outright hostility. More often, they arrive in gentle tones, from friends who think they're protecting you, from family who believe they're offering wisdom. And because those voices are close to you, they carry weight. But remember, good intentions do not equal good guidance. Only you know the call that burns in your heart. Only you know the price you're willing to pay. So how do you keep focus? You return again and again to your why. Write it down. Guard it. Keep it alive in silence. Your why is the compass that steadies you when opinions try to push you off course. Without it, you'll drift with every breeze of advice. With it, you'll march forward even when the crowd shakes their head. Focus also requires removing the temptation to prove yourself prematurely. The urge to show progress, to seek approval, is strong. But approval is a dangerous drug. It feels good in the moment and weakens you in the long run. When you depend on outside validation, your energy shifts from building to performing. And once you're performing, you're no longer creating for yourself. You're creating for applause. Focus dies the moment you make applause the measure. Instead, let your focus be measured by the work done each day. 1 brick laid, 1 page written, 1 mile walked. Those small actions accumulate, and they need no audience. The satisfaction of progress in silence is a fuel no opinion can replace. Remember, outside opinions only have as much power as you grant them. If you close the door, if you keep the vision close, those voices cannot enter. And the world will eventually see, not because you argued, not because you defended, but because you stayed focused long enough to finish. That is the art of focus, not louder effort, but quieter conviction. Guard it, and your dream survives. Lose it, and your dream becomes just another story of what might have been. Why results speak louder than words. You can talk about discipline, you can talk about plans, you can talk about vision, but in the end, words don't weigh much. The world is not moved by what you say you're going to do. It is moved by what you actually finish. That is why results always speak louder than words. People promise every new year, every Monday morning, every birthday that this time will be different. They say, I'll get in shape, or I'll start that business, or I'll change my habits. And yet look around, how many actually follow through? Words are cheap because anyone can say them. But results are earned. They are undeniable proof that your talk had substance, that your silence had purpose. The truth is, results carry a power that explanations never could. You don't need to convince people you're working hard when the results stand in front of them. You don't need to argue about your dreams when your progress is undeniable. Results silence doubters better than speeches ever will. And here's the beauty. When you build in silence, you are not wasting energy trying to persuade anyone. You are converting that energy into action, into momentum, into results that cannot be ignored. Results also separate the serious from the dreamers. A dreamer can describe their vision in great detail, painting pictures with their words. But a builder? A builder lays one brick at a time until the wall exists in reality. Results are the evidence of discipline, the receipt of sacrifice, the reward of endurance. They cannot be faked for long, and they cannot be taken away once achieved. And results don't just speak to others. They speak to you. They whisper, "This is working. Keep going." They fuel belief, because nothing strengthens faith like seeing progress with your own eyes. Even small wins build confidence, teaching you that the mountain can be climbed, that the goal is not impossible. Words may motivate for a moment, but results motivate for a lifetime. Nobody really remembers what you said, but they remember what you built. They remember the company that was created, the book that was written, the transformation that was visible. You will not be known for the intentions you had, but for the results you left behind. That's why the quiet worker always wins. While others talk, they build. While others argue, they produce. And when the time comes, their results speak in a language so loud that no voice of doubt can drown it out. So stop wasting breath on proving yourself. Stop wasting time on convincing people to believe in you. Put that energy into building. Put it into showing. Put it into finishing. Because once the results appear, the conversation changes forever. People don't ask, "Do you think they can?" They say, "Look, they already did." That's the power of results. They are the final word, the undeniable evidence, the legacy that remains long after the noise of opinions fades. The secret of building quietly and shining openly. There is a rhythm to success that many people miss. They want to shine before they've built. They want applause before they've finished the work. Real greatness is born in the quiet, not in the noise. The foundation of every strong life, every strong business, every strong dream, it's laid in silence, away from the crowd, where no one is watching and no one is clapping. Think about the farmer. He doesn't stand in the field every morning shouting, "Look at my seeds! Look at what I planted!" No, he plants them deep into the soil, covers them, and lets them grow in silence. For months, nothing seems to happen. From the outside, it looks like there is no progress. But beneath the surface, roots are taking hold. Life is being formed, and strength is being built. And when the season changes, when the time is right, the harvest stands tall for everyone to see. That's how life works. You build quietly, patiently, consistently. Then, when the time comes, your work shines so brightly, it cannot be hidden. The secret of building quietly is that it frees you from the pressure of constant validation. When you work in silence, you're not rushing to show half-finished efforts just to get approval. You're not distracted by opinions that could steer you off course. You are focused, steady, unshaken. And that silence? It protects the purity of your vision. It keeps you from being swayed by every passing voice because your work is not for their applause. It's for your own destiny. Silence is not permanent. You don't stay hidden forever. The point of building quietly is not to avoid shining, it's to prepare yourself so that when you do shine, you shine with strength, with substance, with results that cannot be denied. And when that moment comes, you don't need to announce it. Success announces itself. Just as the sun doesn't shout to prove its light, it simply rises and everything around it takes notice. When you shine openly, it's not arrogance. It's the natural result of the work you've done. It's the fruit of your discipline, the evidence of your sacrifices, the reward of your endurance, and people will respect it more because they didn't hear about it every day. They see it standing tall in front of them. So build like the farmer. Plant your seeds in silence. Protect your vision while it's fragile. Guard your dreams while they're growing. Work when nobody notices. Sweat when nobody applauds. And when the time comes, when the roots are strong and the tree is ready, let the world see the fruit. That is how you build quietly and shine openly. Because in the end, it is not the noise that makes you memorable. It is the strength of what you built, the shine of what you finished, the light of what you became. So hear me well. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. Every seed grows in silence before it breaks the ground. Every mountain stands in silence before it inspires awe. And every life worth remembering was built not with noise, but with steady, determined hands. Don't waste your breath announcing. Don't waste your energy explaining. Build, protect your vision. And when the time is right, let the work rise like the sun, undeniable, unstoppable, and unarguable. The world doesn't need your promises, it needs your proof. Now tell me, will you keep shouting your plans into the wind, or will you build quietly until the ground shakes beneath your results?